Hey, how you doing? Welcome to another episode of Projects with Chaz. How the freak am I gonna do that? Today we're gonna make some cheap curtains for my van so that when I go camping, people don't see me scratching my butt and like lounging around in the nude. I'm gonna show you what I bought, how I sewed it up, and how I attached it to the van. Come on in, I'll show you what I did. Welcome to my van. Anyway, this folds into a bed and I want to go camping. Got a little table here, but I haven't yet because the windows are, it's like being in a fishbowl. So I don't want Big Daddy to be exposed to the elements and randos walking around like freak shows outside. So I made these curtains. So I've done this side and I'm going to show you what I did, and then I'm going to show you how to do this side over here. And take it or leave it. You can order curtains from like different places for the van again, but they're pretty pricey. So I went to Joann Fabrics, not plugging them, but it's a local place that I go to. And I bought some material, some curtain rods. And then these are actually bag bands. I'll show you what those are later, but that's holding these in place. But you can just take these down, pull the curtains, boom. If I'm lounging out, nobody can see through. If I want to get a little more crafty, I can do some Velcro and Velcro it to the side here, but that'll be down the road. This is getting me started. And then I'm going to do a curtain for the back and then a curtain for the front. So let me show you how I do this side real quick, and you can make a determination if you want to do it for yourself. All right, so I went to Joann Fabrics and I bought some curtain rods and a bunch of material. And the material comes like a big, what's that, a yard? Comes on a big thing. I picked out a dark color because I didn't want the sun popping through when I'm trying to get my Z's. So this is the slider door side, this side. And what I'm gonna do is cut this in half so I have a panel for each window. Cut this down the middle, and then I'll have two halves, and then I'll cut that in half, and that'll be each curtain. There's two windows. So I need this cut in half. I know where the middle is because there's a seam here from where it was folded. I'm just gonna take a pair of scissors, make sure they're sharp. Doesn't matter if it's jagged because I'm gonna fold it over. And so, I don't know what's it called, a hem or a, I don't know what it's called when you fold it over and sew so you don't see the jagged edge. Not up on my sewing terms. But if you don't know how to use a sewing machine, you can look at my channel, and I have another episode where I sew a hockey jersey. I show you how to use a sewing machine, man edition. So it's like a rectangle. I'm gonna start with the edge. See how it's all crazy there? I'm gonna fold that over. I have plenty of material, so I can be generous with my fold. I'm gonna fold this over and sew this first. Just fold it over so it's like you got about an inch. Like I said, if you need to learn how to use a sewing machine, you can watch my video on my channel. All right, so I sewed that one side. See how nice and clean that looks? I'm gonna do the other side, and then I'm gonna do the top and bottom. And the top, I'm gonna leave a little room, a little more room, so that the rod can slide through it. Okay, so I have 3 sides sewed. Now this top part, you're gonna wanna come over, instead of an inch, go like 2 inches. Reason being is you need room for this to come through it. You want a little extra room. You don't want it super tight because you're gonna wanna bunch that up when you want it out of the way, and you need some slack to be able to bunch it up. So I'm gonna fold this over a good couple inches. And I did measurements of all my windows, so I knew how much material I needed, how the width and the length. So do yourself a little diagram. You might not be doing it for a van again, you might be doing it for who knows what. your molester van. You just need to figure out the dimensions of whatever your rig is, and then go buy some material. All right, so I did both sides, and then I did the bottom, and then I folded this top part over, which gives me the hole for the rod. So this is 1/2 of the curtain for a specific window. And as you can see, you can slide it right in. So let's see here. The reason you want it to have a couple inch gap here is give it enough room to bunch up like that. So that's one curtain. I need to make the other one over here, and then I'll show you how to install this onto a window. All right, so this is one of the panels up close. This is the side. You want to do the side, the bottom, and then the top. And that leaves this little gap here for the pole. So when you flip it over, you can see it doesn't look that bad. That's the bottom. So it's up to you whether you have the nice side out for all the voyeurs, or do you have the nice side in facing you when you're laying around eating your can of corned beef hash and passing wind. You make that call. Okay, I have this curtain done. Those are both the panels I just sewed. And we need to figure out where we're gonna mount it over here. So this is the bracket. I'm gonna try to put it somewhere in there. I'm gonna take a Sharpie and I'm gonna mark the holes, and then I'm gonna drill holes. These are the cheapo screws that came with the curtain rods. I'm going to use these wood screws. They're a little shorter and they're a little beefier, so that they'll dig into the hole that I just drilled. Alright, so I have that side on, and I'm going to, this looks good. I'm gonna mark those holes with a marker, drill a hole, sink some screws. All right, here's the big reveal. Let's snap that one on. There's the curtain. Let's see here. Try to center it a little bit. Boom. A little bright in here. I'm trying to do this myself with a GoPro. But yeah, it's hemmed, or whatever you call that, so you don't see the frayed edge. And I left enough room up here so that you can bunch it up. And that's about it. If you want, you can make some straps to hold this, or you can use a rubber band or whatever. All right, I still have the back to do, and then the one I'm gonna, for the cockpit, or whatever you want to call it, the driving area, I'm gonna put a curtain across here. But now when you go camping and you need some privacy, you can go from this to this for when it's time to go bow chicka bow bow. No curtain to curtain. What's going on in there? I can't see in. All right, guys, thanks for watching another successful Projects with Chaz. Today we made some curtains for my Volkswagen van again. They're not the most fancy curtains, but they'll do the trick. And I think the whole project cost me under 70 bucks. It was like $63 with the rods, the material, and a box of screws. So like all successful projects, I'm gonna celebrate by cracking this Oberon. So if you enjoyed this project, please like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you next time.